I, 25 female, have been dating my boyfriend, 27, for 2 years. He's been my first ever boyfriend because not a lot of guys seem interested in me. Overall, our relationship has been good, but something happened recently that made me question everything. About 2 months ago, I started feeling severe abdominal pain while we were at his apartment. The pain became so intense that I could hardly move or speak. I told my boyfriend that I needed to go to the hospital because something felt very wrong. He dismissed my concerns, saying I was overreacting and that it was probably just something I ate. Despite my pleas, he refused to take me to the hospital or even call an ambulance. Instead, he suggested I lie down and wait it out. The pain kept getting worse, and I was scared, throwing up and crying. After an hour of begging him to help me, I finally managed to call a friend, who immediately came over and took me to the ER. It turns out I had pancreatitis, which required immediate medical attention. The doctor said it could have been life-threatening if I had waited any longer. My friend stayed with me the entire time, but my boyfriend didn't even check in to see how I was doing until the next day. He sent a brief text saying he hoped I was feeling better. I was in the hospital for 3 weeks, and he didn't even bother to come see me. He got defensive when I confronted him about his lack of support and concern. He said I was being dramatic and didn't think it was serious. He accused me of making him look bad in front of my friends for something that wasn't a big deal. I decided to break up with him because I can't be with someone who doesn't take my health seriously or support me in an emergency. Now, after we've been apart for a few weeks, some of our mutual friends are saying I overreacted and he just made a mistake. They think I should give him another chance. He was busy, and it wasn't as big of a deal as I made it out to be. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Yeah, no. 3 weeks in the hospital for nothing serious, said no one ever. I bet if he has the sniffles, he's dying. It's better being single than looking after this idiot. Tell your friends to shut up until they've been hospitalized for 3 weeks without seeing their SO. He showed you his true self. You did the right thing. My partner had pancreatitis, and I drove her to the hospital immediately and spent the next week working remotely from her hospital room. And I'm at the bottom of the scale for compassionate relationship effort. Find someone better. And why weren't the friends worried about where you were for 3 weeks and what was going on? I'm wondering if these are friends who were his friends first. Man, I hope they were his friends first because that would explain that whole group. OP, you took care of one problem and dumped the boyfriend. Go find a better one. Now, take care of the other problem and dump the friends who are excusing him. Go find better ones. Also, get rid of that because not a lot of guys seem interested in me mentality. Even if you need to go to therapy to get help with recognizing your self-worth. Men like your dirtbag boyfriend will be drawn to that mindset, and they'll convince you you're trapped, have no other options, and are stuck with them in their abusive treatment of you. You need to be able to see through that, and therapy will help you. Take care of yourself. I'm 21 male, the middle child of 5 siblings, and I always knew my mom treated me very differently from the rest of my siblings. It caused my parents' marriage to end because my dad made it very clear he wouldn't tolerate her being so different from me. This was after he tried to figure out why she was so different from me. A few close family members knew and said it was PPD from when she had me, which apparently only affected her ability to bond with me and not any of my 4 siblings. Just me, the middle kid. I have a sibling who's 1 year younger than me, and she bonded with her just fine. I was a teenager when I got into a fight with Mom one day. She accused me of always hating her and never wanting her to be happy. I asked what the heck she meant by that, and she told me that I had to come on the one day she had other plans. It was bad enough that I was overdue when I was born, but I prevented her from reading a book that was released the day she'd made plans to read months in advance. She told me I just had to be born that day, so she was too tired to read it on the release day, and she was weeks behind. She said I couldn't even be born normally like my siblings. I was a C-section. She told me it messed up her plans so bad, and I never seemed to care. Then she mentioned how much I cried when she was around, and how good I did with Dad. She said I made her seem like such a monster, and none of my siblings were like that. She told me I clearly always wanted to come between her and Dad. She was pretty serious about it. She said I started messing her over the day I was born. It really shocked me when she told me all this. At first I didn't want to believe it. Dad and I even did a DNA test around that time because we were like, maybe she's making up a dumb reason so we won't know she cheated. But I'm definitely Dad's kid. DNA confirmed it. My relationship with Mom is as bad as the day I was born, apparently, and I got a hard time from some family friends and extended family members who see me not being close with my mom as me being crappy to her for no reason. They put the bad relationship on me, and at my grandparents' house on Saturday, I got so tired of the comments and Mom sneering at me the whole time. I exposed what she said to me when I was a teenager and the blame she put on me being born on the wrong day for our bad relationship. Mom half admitted it because she got so angry, she verbally lashed out at me. It created a mess, and some family members think I made a big deal out of nothing, but others were disgusted with Mom. I was told I was wrong to expose her like that. Mom told me I had no business doing that. So I asked, am I the idiot for exposing my mom's lifelong grudge against me because I was born on the wrong day? Not the idiot. Born on the wrong day? That's a new level of ridiculousness. She hated you, her own child, for something you couldn't control? That's bizarre and absolutely wrong of her. I'm sorry that you have someone like that as a mother, and I hope you have at least a parent figure in your dad. Do not give 5 cents about anything your mother says anymore. She doesn't deserve that you care about her. At this point, you're an adult. Sorry you had a crappy childhood because your mom is insane. If it would help, I would go no contact with your mom and keep contact with your siblings and, of course, your father. You now know the truth, which is possibly the harshest thing a parent can say to a child. But at least now you know she blames you from the moment you were born, that you ruined her life over a book. That must be a heck of a book. Wild guess. The book was about teen wizards. Potter women are crazy, just like the Twilight and 50 Shades lot. If it bothers you, go to therapy. If not, don't talk to your mom anymore. Don't go to events where she's at. Don't invite her to your life events. And try to keep in contact with your siblings, the family that's on your side, because it's true. I'm Brazilian, but have lived in the U.S. for 3 years. My first language is Portuguese. I have a preschool-age son and I'm pregnant with the girl due in May. My son is friends with the girl whose mother, I'll call her Becca, is also pregnant. She's due a couple of weeks before me and is expecting a third girl. We frequently discuss our pregnancies since we take our kids on playdates almost weekly. Becca is into unique names, not uniques or tragedies, but names she and her husband created. It's not my style, but she came up with genuinely nice names for her older daughters, so there was never really a reason for me to say anything. This time, Becca and her husband had trouble creating a new name. She first brought this up last December. For months, they tried to create something that sounded good, with no success. We took our kids on a play date at a park this weekend. Becca excitedly told me that they'd finally settled on a name when we sat for a snack. I was really happy for her and asked what they had chosen. Narina. To those who don't know, that's Portuguese for nostril. I managed to control myself and told her it sounded lovely, but my son giggled. My husband and I are raising him bilingual, so he speaks Portuguese, and Becca wanted to know why. I tried to brush it off, but she kept insisting. Eventually, I told her that while Narina could be a lovely name, it was also the Portuguese word for nostril. Becca seemed really sad to hear that. She said she'd think of something else, but had fallen in love with Narina. After we went home, Becca's husband called me. He was furious at me for ruining the only name they had agreed on. Apparently, he fought with Becca because she told him she wanted to think of something else. He argued that they'd never visit Brazil anyway, so they shouldn't have to change the name, but Becca refused to use Narina. My husband agrees that their fight is not my fault. Still, he thinks that I didn't need to tell Becca anything, since Americans are unlikely to know what Narina means. Am I the idiot? Edit. This was not my son's fault. He's a preschooler and had an honest reaction to hearing essentially that a baby would be called nostril. I get that some people might think I was the idiot, but I don't blame my child for this. Not the idiot. Your friend's husband is the idiot for confronting you. You weren't really given any other choice other than to explain your son's reaction. Even if you had brushed it off, there's a high chance that your son might have spilled the beans later, like after the child was born. Young kids rarely know how or when to filter things, which goes double if they're chatty. I'm also shocked they didn't bother Googling their name ideas as they came up with them. I see Narina as nostril on the first page of the search results. I Googled it. Narina is a type of bird, and it means fresh pomegranate flower as a Persian name. They way overreacted. Many names and words mean something different in other languages. At least the word is innocuous. The name Bill sounds like brother-in-law in Dutch, which means buttock. Do you think people are going to stop using Bill as a name? William has to be one of the most common names in existence. She needs to chill and use the name she likes. I, 23 female, currently live with my mother, 45. A couple of weeks ago, I left due to an argument and didn't return until yesterday. When I returned, she called me into her room to talk and had her friend on the phone. This particular friend is supposed to be my godfather, even though I've never met him. When I came into the room, the friend said that he was glad that I was home and that I needed to stop lashing out and not leave again. I told him that leaving for a little while was what was best for my mental health. He and my mother both said, "No, it's not." And I replied, "Maybe it's not to you, but it was to me. And you can't tell me what is and what isn't good for my mental health." They said that my siblings missed me and hated it when I left. I said that that's what happens when you grow up around other children. Eventually, they grow up and leave and live their own lives. They changed the subject and started talking about my siblings, 19 male, a teen male, and a young teen female, saying that I needed to do more to help my mother with them and make sure that they do what they're supposed to do, like chores, schoolwork, etc. I told her no. I've been basically raising my siblings my whole life, and I wasn't going to play replacement parent to them anymore. Plus, she's asked me to help before, and when I tried, she wouldn't listen, and all she did was get angry at me and say, "You're not the mother, I am." Besides, they're all old enough to know what they're supposed to do. My mother said that she's tired and needs a break, and can't work and take care of them at the same time, and really needs my help. I told her that I'd been helping her without even a thank you, and now I'm done and need to start figuring things out and living my own life. She and her friend called me selfish and said that I only look at it that way because of my mindset, and that I need to change my mindset and help with the family more. I stood my ground and said that I just wanted to focus on myself from now on, and that my siblings were old enough to know what they were supposed to do, and that if they didn't, then she needed to discipline them. Her friends asked me what I thought the proper discipline should be, and I said that it was up to my mother. He said that was too much work for her to do, and asked why she should have to worry about things like that after getting off work, and said that I should do it. I stood my ground and said, "No, you're asking me to play mommy to them, which I'm not going to do. I'm the big sister, not the mother." They called me a selfish idiot for not wanting to be a part of the family and helping. So, am I the idiot? Edit. A few people are asking where our father is. We all have different dads. I never knew mine. My father and her second boyfriend fathered the 19-year-old and broke up a few years later, and I never saw him again after that. A year later, my mother met and married third boyfriend, and they had the two youngest, but the father died about 3 years ago. But even when he was alive, I still did everything while they stayed in their room doing whatever. Not the idiot. Why is this random guy even involved? He's not been helping raise you or your siblings. Gather your important documents and move out as soon as you can. Be an example to the younger siblings that they can thrive away from your mom's poor parenting. Were you NC those 2 weeks? Did your mom even know you were safe? I'd bet a pretty penny that he's the OP's dad, masquerading as a godfather, as the OP said. They've never met him, so she wouldn't have a clue. Also, he's probably a married guy who agreed with mom on handling it this way to protect his regular family life. This was my thought too. Not your kids, not your responsibility. If your mom can't handle working and taking care of kids, she could have done what plenty of adults do and have fewer or no kids in the first place. Also, those are not little kids, but teens. So why does mom need help? Teens are easier than younger kids. They can all help cook and clean at their ages. What does the mother really have to do to watch them? A friend's dad once said, "First time's a mistake. Second time is a habit. I don't support habits." OP's mom is trying to make OP responsible for her mistakes. The godfather is so concerned. Let him go move in and help OP's mom and stop demanding that OP finish raising her siblings. She's done more than her fair share. I, female 25, am celebrating my birthday weekend in Miami in July, and I invited 5 of my close friends, and 3 of their boyfriends are tagging along as well. I've been so excited about this trip because partying in Miami has been a tradition with my friends since turning 21. One of my friends, Ethan, male 26, texted me a month after booking our accommodations, saying he invited and paid for the sister, 42, and brother-in-law, 45, of our close friend, Cassie, 26. For reference, I've never felt comfortable drinking or partying around Cassie's family, so my initial reaction was to be upset. Ethan apologized and said he should have asked me before buying their flights and hotel stay. I agreed with him, but also asked him if it was possible to cancel their reservations, because I didn't feel comfortable with them joining us. I don't want to party with people I don't get along with. Ethan assured me that Cassie's sister and brother-in-law would not interact with us on the trip, but Cassie told me she'd like to go out with them at some point during our stay. Ethan continued to tell me that even if we interacted with the sister and brother-in-law, it would be short and shouldn't affect our trip. But I didn't want to interact with them at all. I just don't feel comfortable wearing club clothes and drinking in front of Cassie's family members, who I don't get along with. I also don't appreciate being disrespected by him, not asking me if they could go. Ethan tells me it would be rude to cancel the sister and brother-in-law's flights and hotel because it was already promised to them. I can see why that would be messed up, but it's also not my issue since I didn't want them there in the first place. I don't think I should have to deal with any of that, considering I planned my own birthday trip. Now there's tension between my friendship with Ethan and Cassie. I don't know how I should react to this upcoming trip if the sister and brother-in-law's accommodations are not canceled. Am I the idiot for asking them to cancel their accommodations? Oh wow, so not the idiot. Who in their right mind invites someone to another's birthday party without asking the host? You said it multiple times. These 2 people are not your friends. So I would insist on the cancellation, or I'd be petty enough to cancel my stuff and plan something in somewhere else. Let him and her enjoy their family trip, but without you. Good that my friends aren't this desperate or dense. Good that my friends aren't this disrespectful or dense. They'll think you are the idiot no matter how you put it or lay it on them. What's the point of them going on your birthday if they won't spend time with the group anyway? Ethan could have brought them a ticket to any other city at a different time. Weird. Honey, secretly change your accommodation, and when you arrive in Miami, say, "See you later. Have a great time," and then bounce. Ethan can spend his vacation being the third wheel. This is the best way to salvage the birthday trip.